Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and in today's video we will talk about conditional structures. And this term might sound a little bit complicated, but believe me, conditional structures is something you guys probably have heard and read about already. And let's continue this presentation. So of course, by conditional structures I'm talking about if statements mainly, and you guys probably know about if statements. So if and then any condition, then, and if that condition is met, then the code below or after the then will continue, okay? And when we speak of if statements, we have other things like else if, else, multi-conditional statements, and non-truth tests. And we will talk about those soon. So else if and else might be some things you guys already know about, and then multi-conditional, well, and then non-truth tests. So I think that this is something anyone barely knows about when you read the term, okay? But you guys might already know about it, I'm not sure. Okay, and the second thing has to do with conditional loops. And when we speak about conditional structures, there is not only if statements, but there are also loops, which are bound to a condition, and we will go through these as well. Okay. Alright, so here we go in a Roblox Studio. So let me just quickly insert this script, and then I'm gonna show you everything step by step. So the first thing was a if statement, okay? So if, and now we need a condition, so if 3 plus 5 equals 8, then. Okay, and that's actually it. So this is our first if statement, and let me just quickly go through. Yeah, so let me just quickly go through it. So we have this if, which is important, and then we have this condition, and then we have the then. And then we have the code, which is supposed to run when this condition is met. And then we have the end, which isolates the statement, the if statement, the code which is supposed to run if the condition is true, and yeah, the end, which marks the end of this code, and which isolates this from the rest. Okay, so that's how an if statement is built up. And we now have some other components, such as else if. And else if is basically the same thing as an if, but it just is a additional check. Okay. So when we consider this, wait, let me give you another example. So no, never mind. This example is fine. So we have this first if statement right here, and what the code does is that it goes through this, and if this is true, then it continues with this code, runs it, and then it comes to an end. Okay? But if you have the case that you have multiple conditions and you're not sure whether the first condition is going to be true, so let me give an example. So I've just changed this number, which makes the result be 9 and not 8. And then we have the second condition, the second statement right here, which the result is true. Then this is going to be false, and this is going to be true. Therefore, this code is not going to run, and this code is going to run. So we basically have multiple conditions, and as you can see, correct 2 is being printed out. But if I decide to change this back, then only correct is going to be printed out, okay? So this check right here only happens when the first one is false, as you can see. And we can now do this again. With a third statement, and it is always the same thing. So if this is true, then the code will not consider going through this. If this is false, then the code will consider going through this, but not through this. And if both right here are false, then it will consider going through this, okay? So that's the idea behind of this else if. And now we have one more thing called else. And else is basically the same thing as else if, but it is not bound to any conditions or so. Okay, so we have conditions, as you can see right here, and this else has no condition. Means if this is false, if this is false, and if this is false, then it will automatically go to this one. This does not matter if if it has a condition or not. So let me show you what I'm talking about by increasing the numbers right here. Let me call this last stop. And as you can see, this is being printed out because everything right here is false. And this is not, or this does not have any condition, therefore it is automatically being considered, okay? So that's all about this else if and else. Now we can do some other kind of multi-conditional statements. So we can also put multiple conditions in one statement. So if we consider this as the first statement, then we can the first statement even have more than one condition. So this is our first condition, okay? And now we can also have the case that we want two conditions to be true in order for this to run. So if this condition is true and if this condition is true, then come on. So if this condition is true and this condition is true, then this is going to happen. Okay? And you can even add many other weights if you want to, because you're funny, okay? So you can add as many as you want and it will always work. Of course, only if all of these conditions are met. Okay? So let's check it out. Okay, it prints out last stop because this does not make 8. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So that's all about AND, okay? But there is also another term when it comes to multiple conditions, called OR, okay? And what this OR does is that it says, yeah, so if either this condition is true or this condition is true, then we'll continue. It means this can be true, but this can be false, and it will still continue. Or this can be false, but this can be true, and it will still continue. So if you guys think about it, then it comes up to the same meaning as using this else ifs, okay? So that's all about this. And now there are two more things I would like to show you. And this has to do with this, okay? So there is the way of doing this, which means equals. So this equals this. So this is basically what this expresses. So double, I don't know how you call this. So double equals means this makes 8 and this is 8. And that's basically what this expresses. Now you also have the case of this, which means that this condition has to be greater than this. And this is, of course, used a number, so 8 needs to be greater than 3 plus 5, which is also 8. Means this condition is going to be false. But you can also do this the other way around, means this needs to be greater than this. So 3 plus 5 makes 8, and this is also 8, means it does not work as well. And you also have these. So what this expresses is this has to be greater. No, this can be greater, but it also can equal. So either it equals or it is greater, okay? And you can have the same thing the other way around, means this is either greater or equals this, okay? So that's all about this. Now, let's get to loops, okay? So let's get to conditional structures when it comes to loops. So we can also, we are going to talk about while and repeat. So you guys should know about this, okay? While true do. And when you write down this thing, then you guys should already see it. So this is our condition. True is our condition. And true is always true. Therefore, this will like work out, okay? And what this while true do does, so in case I have not already explained it, so it loops through infinite. So it is a infinite loop at the end, and yeah, so that's basically the job of this loop. Okay, so we can now add a condition inside of here. And yeah, for example, this once again, and if this equals this, then this loop will work out. Yeah, as you can see, it works out. And you can now also use this AND I have just showed you, and you can use the OR, and you can even do things like this, or this, you know. So you can do all of these, but you cannot do stuff like this. Okay, so this will not work out. Okay, but I'll go more into the topic of loops in another video. So this was just yeah, about showing you conditional loops. So that's our first conditional loop. We now have this as well. So repeat until. Okay. So what this does is that it will repeat this code until something happens. Means this loop right here is bound to a condition once again. So if we take this as our condition, then it will probably print out high once, and then yeah, come to this part, and then we'll see that this and this equals to each other, and yeah, we'll stop this loop. Okay, but otherwise, if we change the outcome, so if we make this condition be false, then it will just continue looping. And as you can see, our studio is in trouble because I have forgot to add a wait, and now it comes to the same meaning as our while true do loop. Means it is an infinite loop, and if you want to stop that, then you need to add a wait to it. Yeah, okay, so my studio is probably about to crash. So let me just quickly tell you some more about this repeat thing. So down there where you put the condition inside, you can also once again write. Wait. Let me just show it to you. So you can once again do this, and this. And I'm not sure about this, but I think that this should work out as well. Yeah, okay. Yes, so you can change these things, and you can also add multiple conditions, but you cannot do this, okay? Or this, or whatsoever, okay? So that's it with this video, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If so, leave a like, subscribe, share this video with all of your friends. Yeah, leave me feedback in the comment section, and take care, and see you in the next video, guys.